let me move this doggone thing out of the way. um, yeah, so my board is actually that way. So today I wanted to talk about my journey and being going through homelessness and facing racism while I was homeless. Okay, so where I faced homelessness for a good minute was in Fort Wayne, Indiana. I'm currently in Fort Wayne. Okay, um, this is an area that usually has quite a bit of jobs. Honestly, because of COVID, people were talking about their loss of jobs. We've had so many extra jobs, like that people are able to pick and choose what they want to do now. When I first got here, there was so many jobs that were available, and I would apply to, and I would get hired on the spot based off of my qualifications and the things on my background. And when they would come and see me and see the face, someone would even say, "I thought you were a lady that was non-color," or well, not of color. That's what they would say. Or they'll, "Is this really you? Can I see your ID?" Because of how what my name is. And these people would literally deny me for the job. I'll be turned away. I'm like, is this something spiritual? And I know it was something spiritual, but at the same time, y'all, racism is more than a fleshly thing. It goes, that's a whole mindset, you know. And because of the color of my skin, people don't want to talk about that because we think that we are so beyond that, because this happened when our parents were growing up and our grandparents and everything like that. But listen, racism is taught. Racism is a system of education, a miseducation, but it's education none the least. And I suffered a lot from it. Now, did it keep me down? No, because if you understand the belief system of racism, meaning that one race is superior to the another, or a person is superior to other, and another person is inferior, and they have in their system, you know that um you can take that and use that as tackling fuel to actually get what you want. Because for one, if someone is rejecting you and they think of you as less than, they're not going to treat you as equal. They're going to treat you, like you're the scum of the earth. They're gonna take things away from you. Like I said, I had opportunities I was walking through and I literally could not go through. Even simple jobs like McDonald's and things, I could not get the job. Once I get there, I'm clean, polished. Okay. um Hygiene, everything is together, so it wasn't anything of that sort. Prompt, on time. I would not get that job. And then I would see people, if you guys looked at my videos and I talked about this before, I saw people who had less education than me, had less hands-on experience than I did, and they were getting the positions. And it was really based off of the color of their skin. And then when I actually got a position, just to work, I would be forced to work under someone who didn't have the training or the skill sets. And that I still have that till this day. To this day, I still have that, because of the area. I know that because I've worked in different areas, and that's not how it goes in places that, um, in larger places. So I just wanted to share that. Like, some people don't understand the part of being homeless. Sometimes it is about racism. Some people get really upset and intimidated by your skill sets. A lot of people get intimidated by you going the extra mile. You might be in the same playing field as that's the same individual that you're working with, or they're above you, but they see that you have that tenacity to go that extra mile, and they get offended by that. They get offended by that to the point they try to crush you by any means. And that's literally what I face. Um, if you don't have, the mindset that I had before, because I believe if something's, like they talk about in the Bible, if you come and you open your presents and you show your gifts and people reject your gifts, you dust the shoulders, dust your shoes off, dust the dust off your shoulders, off your feet, and keep moving. You keep moving, and you put yourself in another situation. So going through this and seeing this for myself firsthand, for not just 1 or 2 months, I mean for years, I've learned how to maneuver and how to rotate around and to go into arenas that best suit me, while at the same time still being in that position to where when the time goes back around, because listen, when people use racism to fuel or to push you down, or someone's manipulating you in any type of way, it just doesn't have to deal with racism. It could be sexism, it could be ageism. That really does happen too with people who are seniors and they try to phase them out as if they don't know what they're doing. Guess what? If you keep working and you keep showing up, it's gonna slap them in the face every time, to where even if they don't recognize it, everybody else around you will recognize what it is and see what it is that you're facing, and see that you are showing up every single time. And that's exactly what I did. Things got better once I showed up. I did my part and I let God handle the rest of it. But dealing with homelessness, people, like I said, you have no idea. I work in a facility, and the reason why I'm saying this is because I'm coming to this story. Okay? I work in a facility that deals with people who are on the left side of the playing field, meaning they're not going the straight and narrow. They had some ups and downs. Some of them have been in the system. Some of them have just had very hard times in life. Not as if everyone hasn't had, breakups and heartaches and things like that. They've just had really hard times in life that they need help bouncing back from. So what my job is to actually help these people get to where they need to go, get to where they need to be in life. Okay. um and most of the times, mental illness and addictions deals is the population that I deal with. I also deal, all of them are homeless, all of them are dealing with homelessness, but mostly addictions, mental illness, autism, developmental mental illnesses, you know, uh, autism, schizophrenia, bipolar. Those are the fields that are my specialty. Um, but I've noticed that where I work at, there are preferences put on people based off the color of their skin. I didn't understand the importance of where I was at. I didn't understand the importance of being the only female in a male facility at that time, and breaking that barrier. I'm thinking, like, we're in 2022, so me just being the first female, I mean, yes, it's a big accomplishment, but it should have been done already. We are in the 21st century, so that should have already been done. But to go in and to see what I see, is horrendous. I've seen people who will have the same, will get written up and have the same charges or points reflections of the strikes as someone else. And I'm not saying one was dealing with like both of them wasn't mentally, incapacitated or something like that. But the punishment would be, one will get 7 days from being off, and the next one will get 14 days off, and it'll be the same, identical, or even less. I'll tell y'all the really the kicker that I saw the other day. Okay. So, and I'm just gonna generalize it, okay, because I want you guys to understand what I'm talking about. Now, it's this one guy who smells like marijuana, Um, and they found residue of marijuana on his bed, right? Cool. Okay. Then we have two other gentlemen who were caught in the act with a meth pipe, smoking meth in our facility. That's grounds to be off of our premises, and it's a good amount of time. The person who was caught red-handed received 7 days. The person who had marijuana was about to receive 14 days until something was talked about, and then now it's even longer. So this is, and I want to say, that's not right in any kind of perspective. But guess who? Guess who was not of color? You know, and you have to look at those things. That's not the only thing that happened. I had I witnessed another person who was literally blind, y'all. When I say blind, he was blind, y'all. Okay? And this person was working their tail off. When I say they was working their tail off, they were homeless. They were working their tail off trying to find stability. They had to get their resources, getting their checks, the things so they can have stable housing. Okay? Addictions weren't in the picture. Addictions weren't in the picture, y'all. Okay, this person was literally blind. We don't have a braille system. We don't have a braille phone. He literally was having people to assist him so he can get on the phone to talk to these people to get where he needed to go. And he's asking for assistance. He's asking for assistance, y'all. And we have the resources and we have the manpower. Now, we have been short. Don't get me wrong on that. We have been short, but we actually have the manpower and we have the skill sets to do what this man is asking us. And you know what happened? One of my bosses tells me don't help him help him with housing. He has to wait for a certain person to do it. And I'm like, okay, well, that certain person, he's been coming up every single day. Every staff, every shift knows he's been coming up trying to find out when can he talk to this person. This person has not been showing up, telling him he needs to go to someone else. Like, how can we do this? And the company, the housing place, they're ready to accept them, but they need a letter from us stating that he was here. That was it. And they didn't want to get that done talking about that he was triangulating. No, he was getting things taken care of. And then not only that, they had me to call the place, the woman on the phone, to find out, what this lady is talking about this housing place. And she's like, I've been trying to call, I've even called to try to help because I heard that, I saw that he was actually making an effort and no one has gotten back to me. I'm going to have to deny him if I don't get this. And my heart dropped, because people were taking it personal as he was, getting kind of upset. And he's like, he wasn't disrespectful. He didn't raise his voice, but you can tell that this man was upset. He had pushed all his avenues. I'm trying to do this. Hey, I'm doing this. This man is not only legally blind, this man is blind, not like just like legally blind, like I can see some shadows. No, he is blind. He is blind. Okay. And they were just like, no. And I'm like, how is this even possible? And guess what? I wanted to say that maybe it wasn't because of the color of his skin. But then when we had another person who was blind and was going through this, but he had options, they helped this person in the same time span, y'all. So I'm not saying that when it was more help around, then this person, that's how they got. It was in the same time span. I see that a lot. And as an average person, I won't say you, but if you're looking at this now or later, once you go into this situation, you never know how much your presence is going to affect someone and give them hope, because once, and we did get that squared away because some things you can overlook, But I know for me, I'm in this situation because God placed me in this situation. So I have to do things according to God's way and to God's plan. I'm not going to, how some people, oh, look over stuff. Oh, it's yes, I can look over stuff. I will respect authority. I'm not going to go over bounds, but when you're dealing with someone's livelihood and it's something that we are required to do, something that we have the skills, that's why we're there for to do, and you won't do it just because you feel like someone is irking your nerves or they're, doing too much because they're being proactive, like, that's wrong. I'm not going to hold anyone back. I'm not going to hold anyone back from what they're supposed to do in life. I can't do that because I have a God to answer to. It's not just my superiors to answer to. If I can sit there, I can't sit there and be okay with looking these people in the face and telling them that I did my best when I know I didn't. Or it's okay. I can't do that. I don't have that in me. Now I know certain things in protocol that I couldn't do, that I couldn't stand up for. And people put in difficult situations, even if they're innocent or not. Sometimes you have to be careful about those situations that you put yourself into. But at the same time, when you're doing something like that and messing up someone's livelihood, you know, based off of the color of their skin, because that's basically what it was. That's not cool. That's not cool. I see it every single day. I see it every single day. And it's very hard because in the arena that I am in, there are some people who, really are strong about what they believe and what they feel just as well as I am. But the connection is so lost because they're on a different hierarchy um of in the playing field. I'm towards the bottom and these people are at the top. So a lot of those people, we don't have that connection, even though they say they do and they're working on it. Even my boss's boss says that we don't have those types of connections. Um, to to where that energy is flowing. But y'all, it's difficult. You have to be ready for that. So I don't take my job, even though it's not where I want to be or things like that. Well, actually it is, because it's still in the same field and God is using me. And I understand that wherever I'm at, I'm supposed to do it to the best of my ability. But um with that being said, understand that there's a lot that comes with this territory. There's a lot, learning how to go about it, because you get upset and saying this, it is wrong. It's not going to help you. It's not going to help you when people know it's wrong. These people know exactly what they're doing. They know why. I even have that with some of my coworkers. Some of my coworkers are literally sexist. Like, they really believe that women should be, yeah, women should be out of the household, but they don't like a woman working next to them. They don't like a woman knowing certain things and saying, oh, this is wrong, or maybe we should do this in another way, or maybe, I see your point. Well, and then what about if we try this? That intimidates a lot of people. Not only that, I'm telling y'all, some of the people that I work with do not want me there. And that's okay. Listen, that's okay, because you can feel those vibes. Even hearing them talk about the things that they say about me, that's okay too. I'm breaking territory. I'm breaking ground. I'm breaking spiritual ground. But it's a lot of things that comes with it. And that's why I'm on here talking about it. That's why I'm sharing what I'm sharing. It's deep. It's deep, and because I work in a place where it's almost like, well, we deal with the correctional facilities, the paroles, things like that. um we yeah, because of that, we almost are like correctional officers and everything else in between, everything else in between. So If you think about it, like in corrections, a lot of the men sometimes in those correctional facilities, they sometimes they feel like that, you know. Um, yeah, yeah. So you just have to keep those things in mind. Keep those things in mind. I've also had issues with people. It's not just racism. I'm just talking about racism at this time because it's a lot of other things that go on along where I'm working out. But that's something that I've noticed that I have faced. Another thing that they will do is that we had an instance where um, we have issues with people with de-escalation. Oh, a lot of those de-escalations, which we should be trained on anyway, because that's what we do. We de-escalate problems. We are problem solvers. And part of being a problem solver is to de-escalate the situation so you can narrow into the problem and make a clear resolution. Because they don't do the trainings, we end up lacking a lot of things. And I believe that they don't do the trainings because they don't want to spend the money. But you're making more issues, so you're creating more money problems. You're creating more money problems by trying to save money. Um, Another issue that I saw was, and this had nothing to do with racism, but it deals with during homelessness, and it was something that I couldn't do anything about. There was a gentleman who was a army vet, y'all. This would made me cry. He had his own house. And some army vets, don't have a lot of family, or they have distance because of just because sometimes their sternness, going back into society, um and they want to do their things their way, or they might have some people who are not healthy around them, and they choose to disassociate themselves from them. So this gentleman was like one of those people. So his house ended up being condemned. They've been having a lot of houses out here being condemned, um, which some of them should be rightly so, but others not so much. I won't even get into that either. But anyhow, he ended up uh, having to stay with us. And while he stayed with us, he was very nice. He was polite. Um, he was a kind of, he knew he could get some stuff, but he used that his age and him being very nice to get a little bit more from certain people. But he was very, as far as, he wouldn't be bossy with it, but he will wait until you get certain people, because he knows who to tag into, and he would go and he would get them, get us to go and get him what he needed. Oh shoot, I'm so sorry, y'all. To get him what he needed. So um he ended up, what was this, one day he ended up, because he was trying to get back into his home, and they said they was gonna fix him. He had some relatives or whatever, said they was gonna fix it, all that other stuff. He gets back. They had him in he had a case manager, everything else. He gets back, and because everybody really felt sorry for him, because he served his country, he did everything he was supposed to do, and he's like in his 70s, you know just stuck there. And he gets there, and he is like, what did he say? Oh yeah, he couldn't, we didn't have the pillows and stuff because we only have like shelter blankets. He needed an actual blanket of the pillows. He was like, you guys don't even have the proper care to take care of me. So he was telling them at the when he went to the VA hospital. So what they did was they came and picked him up, talked to him or whatever. They had him for a couple of nights, and they knew we didn't have the stuff that we needed. So because he did that, and because that was actually true, he was beyond our care because we didn't have the things to accommodate him, we had to release him. That was not the issue, y'all. The issue came When this man, who was one of my bosses, y'all, literally took this man and told him no, he could not stay after he was not comprehending, took his items and pushed them off and pushed this old man like towards the door. And there's another individual, another gentleman who is witnessing this, who doesn't work at our facility. He's witnessing this and he's like, oh heck, like this has got to be like the worst thing ever. And because they wanted, and that could have all been resolved because if you would have had training, you would have been able to de-escalate something going out of hand that way and just to talk about it. But they didn't. Look, but they didn't. So, let's get that out the way. Okay. Yeah, but they didn't. So, yeah, it made more of a scene. We almost had another lawsuit because people want to sue all the time, for things that went on or things that didn't went on. So yeah, it cost us a lot of litigation, a lot of things, all because of a de-escalation issue, and then they were like, okay, well, we don't really need this. We only need to do a couple of these things. We only need to do a little bit of this. We only need to do a little bit of, of that. And when I explained it, they were like, oh, no, we don't need to do this. So once everything started exploding enough, that's why I'm telling y'all the story. Because once it started exploding enough, now they're coming up with this idea, oh, well, we need to do this every month. And I'm sitting here like, you guys haven't done this every month. They say, oh yeah, we've been doing this every month. And I'm like, when have you done this? Because I've been here months and I've never had any kind of training on it, even though I've had training on it. And I will continuously pay for myself to always have de-escalation training, because I don't put that into nobody's hands when it's dealing with my certifications and it's dealing with my career. I don't put things in that perspective in jeopardy that way. So, but yeah, they literally just didn't want to listen. And then when they finally took my advice, they tried to take it as if it was their own and as if they've been doing it. And it's like, no, that's a lie. If that was the case, we wouldn't be having half of the issues that we have. But this is what happens when you're dealing with racism during homelessness. People will take your ideas, and that's not just with, like I said, with just racism. People who are manipulative and have nothing going for themselves, they will take your ideas. You better keep on going. Yup, I saw you already. Thought I did. Yeah, they will take your ideas. They will and make them as if they were their own. They will act as if you didn't make any contributions. They will ask for your opinions, and won't do the work. They won't do the work out here. And then when it's time to present and time to do certain things, they will use your work as if it was their own. What else? Yeah, they'll put you in lower positions. They'll try to get all the information from you with the lower position. They'll get all that information, and then, like I said, they will turn around and act as if they've done it themselves. They will act as if they have done it themselves. So yeah, and that's from somebody who has worked around people in the homeless population, around co-workers who were racist, and being homeless, and also being homeless during racism. I said during racism, by being profiled by the color of my skin. Okay, that's exactly what's going on. So don't think that that's something that is of the past. No, it is prevalent like none other. Sometimes I think about the Martin Luther King days because at least you saw it in your face. You knew exactly what was going on and how people really, felt about you and things like that. Here, now we're in this time where people do it so covertly that if you're not on your P's and Q's and if you don't understand about manipulation and things like that, it'll go right under the radar until it's too late, and then you'll start looking back after everything has been done. So yeah, so that is my view on. Oh no, I see now. That's my view on racism during homelessness. I hope you guys got something out of it and apply this to your life. If you're going through that, just understand it will get better. It will get better, I promise you. You just might have to learn some other tactics as to how to navigate through it. If you guys want to know anything about that, send me an email about it. I'll definitely talk about some of those navigation tools that I had to use to get through that and to overcome racism during homelessness and to overcome it in professional settings. Till then, hopefully something I said or done will help you on your journey. Please stay tuned to Journey to Jerusalem. Bye.